Hi, how are you doing today? This is Amy Hamilton, author of The Project Manager Life is a Project. And today I am super excited because we are going to be inviting Elizabeth Harrin to come join us today. And if you don't know who Elizabeth is, she is the author, the blogger, the founder of A Girl's Guide to Project Management. And what we're really focused on today is this is International Women's Month. And what does it mean to be a woman in project management? And don't worry, guys, I don't want you to tune out just yet because we're going to also be talking about project management in general. So let me see if I can bring Elizabeth into the line for us. And I will see if she is out there for us now. Hold on just a second. It is not letting me find Elizabeth. So what I'm going to do is ask her if she can join. So what I'm doing now is asking Elizabeth to send a request to join. And hopefully she will be able to join me any second now. And yes, Elizabeth, I have just approved you. So we should be bringing you on in. Elizabeth, it says adding you. Hi, Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Hello, Amy. Yes, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. I am so glad to have you here today. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can, and I have not had a chance to say too much about you, but I'm going to go ahead at this time and introduce you to our audience here. And the project management information page is a really great page. And to let you know what's really interesting about this audience is a lot of times they're very focused on engineering project management and construction project management, which is not my area of expertise. I'm an IT and cybersecurity project manager. And one of the things I think is fascinating is, despite the fact that we all come from very different backgrounds, that the same principles of project management really apply. So, Elizabeth, what I'm going to do at this point is ask you to go ahead and just introduce yourself real quick to our audience.
Sorry, my phone pinged because somebody sent me a friend request at exactly that moment. So would you like me to introduce myself to the audience?
Yes, could you please? That'd be wonderful.
Brilliant. Well, hello everybody, and thank you for having me live on the video today. As Amy said, my name's Elizabeth Harrin. I'm based in the UK, and I don't have an engineering or construction background either. So my experience is in healthcare, financial services, and big software implementation projects, really, and business change. So I've been working in projects, well, more years than I would like to say, but more about 15 years, I suppose. I've written a couple of books. I write a blog called Girls Guide to Project Management, and I just really like meeting lots of different people. So hello, Zafran from India, and there was someone from Afghanistan as well. So it's lovely to see people from joining all over the world.
Great. And so, Elizabeth, this is International Women's Month, and I really want to have you on the show to talk about why did you decide in the beginning to start a girl's guide to project management rather than just project management in general?
I need to turn off all the requests. Uh, I'm grateful for the comments. Why did I start Girls Guide to Project Management? Because back in 2008, when I started blogging, 2008, 2007, I realized that what I was seeing when I was going to conferences, when I was reading the trade press, when I was working with people organizing events, that kind of stuff, the people on the podium were men. The people with their photos next to articles in magazines were men. And that didn't reflect my experience, because I worked in a department at the time that was 50-50 men and women. It was a very balanced team in a very equal environment, and it didn't feel like what I was seeing out there in the public was really truly representative of the workplace that I knew. So I figured that maybe there was something that I should be doing, an angle I should take when I was doing my writing, that talked more to what it was like to be a woman working in that kind of environment. And things have changed a lot actually since then, but that was really how it started, because there wasn't enough. I felt like there wasn't enough representative of people like me speaking at conferences or writing articles or being interviewed, and I felt that in my own small way, maybe.
So I'm sorry about that. Now I got a call that came in through my phone, so I've got to turn off notifications as well. So the next question I had for you is, how do you think things have changed since when you started A Girl's Guide to Project Management to now? And one of the things I personally have really kind of looked at is your blog more from being kind of a women's advocacy to being very much just a very professional project management site in general.
That's true, because when I first started writing, I basically wrote my diary of what it was like to be at work, and I started the Girls Guide to Project Management blog while I was working in Paris, in France. And so a lot of the early articles are all about things like what it's like to work in a multicultural environment, and where I went and got my baguette for lunch that day and stuff like that. And so over time, it's changed much more into, like you say, hopefully, I think people feel that it's a very professional site about project management where they can go to learn things. And I suppose the big change for me for that was when I realized I wasn't writing for myself anymore, when I realized that there was actually a community, and I could better serve my readers by sharing my experience in a different way with some more practical tips. Because basically nobody wanted to read about my life and my favorite coffee bars. They wanted to read things that would help them do their projects better. And I think that there's so much information out there about project management that is so scientific, perhaps isn't the right word, but people try to dress it up, and there's lots of jargon. It can be quite impenetrable. There's quite a lot of academia around it, but actually if you boil it down to the basics, certainly for people who perhaps don't work in construction, people who work in office-based environments don't necessarily need all of that. They need basic practical tips, something that will just help them get the job done. And I hope that I can try to demystify some of the complicated bits of project management. And I suppose the other thing that's changed is I've found out what I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in the stakeholder engagement and the communication side of things. So I suppose my blog's evolved, and my research interests as well have evolved in that direction, because I'm more because that's what I find interesting and fascinating, is the relationships between people on a team.
I think that's really important. Last month it was February, so we were talking soft skills, and we had Olivia Schofield on the show. We talked about, that importance piece of, the communications management is just as important as if your earned value management is off track. And what I'm going to ask you is, if you were a brand new project manager and you're starting out today, man or woman, what do you feel like people should be looking at today? Because project management has really evolved since we first started a decade or so ago.
That's true. And I think a lot of the things that people are facing now coming into the workplace or starting managing projects now are very different. And it's better. I mean, it's better. It really is better. So the things that I think people should be thinking about now are the relationships and the communication skills, relationships, and virtual teams, and technology as well. Because whether you're in engineering, construction, or healthcare, or something else. The technology that we use to run our projects and the collaboration tools that are available to us have fundamentally changed over the last 10 years. And that gives us many more opportunities to be able to engage people in different ways, report in real time, and make a far better judgment about how our projects are going. It's much more real time now. I mean, when I first did my first project management training course, we were learning things like how to do monthly reporting. I mean, in construction and engineering projects, can you imagine doing a report once a month and your client be happy with that? Well, there is always a space for formal monthly reporting, and I still do it, but there's also a place for much more informal interaction and more real-time communication.
I think it's really interesting. So I don't know if you know this, and this is really interesting. I did my master's degree from the University of Liverpool, and I did it on how to use Basecamp software.
Okay.
Back in 2007. And it was all about this interactive collaboration and how you can use basic project management software. And I'm listening to you talk. And so this really goes into the next question, which is, it's 2018 now. Where do you see the future of project management, and what do you think the biggest challenges are for project managers today?
I think there are so many different challenges that we're facing as professionals in the workplace, but probably one of the biggest ones, and this could be a positive or a negative, depending on how you look at it, is the perception of project management in the workplace. So I think as we're moving more towards knowledge work, more towards automation of repetitive tasks, bringing in AI, bots, all that kind of stuff that will help us really focus on the value-added stuff, value-added tasks, it means that more and more people are taking on the role of a project manager as part of their day job. So there's going to become more people doing project work who perhaps haven't got the job title of project manager and yet still need all of the skills. So there's a real challenge there for us, perhaps who do have the official label of project manager, to make sure that we're supporting colleagues in the rest of the business with the professional skills that we have. And also think about how we have to position ourselves in the marketplace, because what makes us different, special, if anything? Or is it just now project management is just a life skill and everybody can do it? So I think the role of the project manager is kind of evolving in that way. And I suppose the other thing I think is really important for us as project managers is trying to keep up with what's happening in the rest of the world, but the rest of the business environment outside of our little silo of the project management discipline. And to give you an example, we've things like the rise of video, like this. I mean, we're having this video chat, but I don't communicate with my stakeholders by video, and yet something like, I've just looked at the figures because I'm doing a presentation on this for APM in a few weeks, but I think it's something like 80% of affluent consumers take in information on video. And if that's how they're getting their news, their updates, they're talking to their friends, and yet I'm giving them a lovely Excel spreadsheet with some data on for my monthly report, there's a disconnect there between how people want to consume information and how we give it to them as project managers.
Oh, I think it's such a good point. And at this point, what I want to do is just open up to you, Elizabeth. I mean, I have this time with you, which is so phenomenal. I really, really appreciate it. I know we rearranged the schedules. And for those of you who don't know, I'm in the middle of the move, which is ironic because I wrote my book about a woman who goes through this giant move. And now literally I'm in my hotel the day before I fly back to America in Germany. So I'm just kind of like in this point of chaos. And then I have Elizabeth Harrin on the video chat here. And I'm like, Elizabeth, as this kind of guru of project management, what wisdom would you like to leave this group?
What would I like to leave the group with? Sorry, there was a bit of static there. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, just kind of anything in general that you would like to share with the group, whether it be about your website, upcoming events, anything exciting that you want to share.
Exciting things. What am I working on at the moment? I can tell you that. So I'm working on a presentation which I'm hoping to deliver as a webinar as well once I've done it live, which is around future trends affecting project management and how we interact with stakeholders. So that's where this video thing has come from, and the research I've done for that also speaks to the role of artificial intelligence, bots, the fact that we're seeing advertisers use much more customized and personalized interaction with people, and yet we don't really give stakeholders the opportunity to choose how they are communicated with. Stakeholder management, at least in my experience, the people I talk to, is very much a case of you tell us the stakeholders, and then we put them into bundles, and then we'll communicate with the stakeholder groups as we see fit. But that isn't the way that people are choosing to be communicated with. So I think there's something there about how we're going to have to keep up with market trends, consumer trends, and what's happening with sort of social media and that kind of the consumer market, and how that's going to influence us as project managers. So that's really interesting. And I've got a new book coming out.
In the future, how can they find you?
Well, they can find me at girlsguidetopm.com, and I'm on Twitter at girlsguidetopm as well. And then I have a Facebook page as well, and we have a Project Management Cafe Facebook group. It has a theme every week, every month, and we also do live chats as well. So if you ever want to find me, that's probably a great place to come and hang out.
Great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for being here. And just for everybody, this is Amy Hamilton, the project manager. Life is a project at amy.shamilton.com, and with Elizabeth Harrin in honor of International Women's Month. And just really, really great to have you on the show. And thank you so much for your time, Elizabeth. And thanks to everybody out there and to the team. Bye.
Bye.